Hey, how are you today? Welcome to this free one-pager that I have created for you. My name is Jenn. I'm a mom of 3. I breastfed all of them exclusively and my last daughter Evie for 22 months. And I've also been a postpartum nurse for just about 8 years. Been a nurse for 11. So I'm so excited to have you here. You're in the right place if you're a first-time mom and you plan to exclusively breastfeed. I'm going to share with you so many good tips to get your milk supply off to a great start, to boost it and build it before your baby is here. I really feel that information and knowledge and building the skills before your baby is here is really gonna set you up for success. So if you kind of have looked at the one-pager, there's 3 secrets and 3 ways to build and boost your milk supply before your baby is here. So number 1 is hand expression. So hand expression is something that you can do starting at 36 weeks. Again, see the medical disclaimer down at the bottom of this one-pager. Obviously, if you have any, you won't know if there's any history of preterm labor, but by 36 weeks, that baby is still considered preterm, but they're full grown enough that hand expression shouldn't do anything to affect early labor. So what you're gonna do is I have included some links for the supplies, and also down below I gave a list for my Amazon recommended breastfeeding supplies that are all my favorites. So for hand expression, you can start doing this as early as 36 weeks. So what you wanna do is start building your supply before your baby arrives. Just in case, for some example, your baby is jaundice and needs supplementation. You have your own milk, or your baby has low blood sugars, or and from the get-go, whether they're a small baby or you end up being a gestational diabetic, those are reasons that we have to end up supplementing if the baby's sugar is really low. However, if you have your own stash of your own breast milk, then you won't have to do that. You will have your own, and then you will be able to keep that exclusivity for breastfeeding and not change your baby's microbiome. So super important. Also, weight loss doesn't really happen as much, but if you do end up delivering in a hospital, especially for vaginal deliveries, we usually don't see you have your milk come in because it can take about 2 to 5 days. So we don't really see that huge weight loss that your pediatrician might see. So again, if you have a stash of your own breast milk, then you can supplement with your own breast milk. You don't have to supplement with formula. So super important. So we're going to talk about hand expression. So those are just a few reasons why it's great to have your own supply of breast milk ahead of time, because then it's your own. You have the skill to hand express colostrum, because it's very different than hand expressing your mature milk when it's in, and I'll explain that. And then you know what to do in case your baby's sleepy in the future or anything like that. And again, you can start storing up to, what did I say? I did the math at the bottom. So refer back to secret number 1, where I said if you start at 36 weeks and you hand express about a half an ml, which is 0.5 to 1 ml per day, then you'll end up with like 3 or 4 ounces, I think it is, which is phenomenal, because a baby in the beginning, their belly is super, super tiny. Even if you have a younger baby, it's gonna be even smaller. So about the size of a chickpea. So that's like day 1. Day 2 moves up to like about the size of a cherry, like a real cherry. And then by day 3, it's kind of about the size of an egg. So they don't need a lot, and it's more about frequency of breastfeeding. So for hand expression, I know it feels a little weird, but you are gonna have to get used to touching your breasts. You're gonna be all over there when you're trying to breastfeed, and it's one of those things that you are going to have to do. So the best thing to do is start with hand expression is you're gonna do a little bit of massage, and you're kind of gonna go like in some circular motions, kind of all the way around, kind of loosening up those breast ducts. Then you're also gonna pull all the way from your armpit. So in all the way back, you have breast ducts all the way back here. So you're gonna kind of pull and just gently kind of pull all that colostrum forward to the front of your breast, okay? Now, the one thing about colostrum is it is super thick. I kind of explain the consistency like honey. So when you're gonna be hand expressing, you don't wanna squeeze fast, because you're not gonna get like honey out of a bottle really quick if you just squeeze it, you know, unless you're like holding upside down. So you wanna do is you wanna take your hand like a C, okay? go on either side of the areola, go straight back, and then compress and hold, and see if any of that colostrum will come out. Now you have to squeeze and compress the breast ducts, and then it's slowly moving that colostrum through these tubercles and out through the front of the nipple. Now the nipple's not just gonna have one spot for colostrum to come out. It's probably gonna have like 15 to 20. So you might see it come out the side or right in the middle, or like 3 drops might. And again, it might take a few minutes because it's very thick like honey. You need to be working that colostrum for a few minutes before it might finally move out from the breast duct and out through the nipple, and you can finally see it. So just be patient in the beginning. And that's why it's really important to learn this skill before your baby is delivered, because 1, you can get colostrum and start building a stash of your own breast milk. 2, you'll have the skill. So if in the future your baby is sleepy or some reason, you know exactly what to do and you've done it before, so you don't need any help. Because again, you might come across a nurse that doesn't know a lot about hand expression, or they might not mention it to you, and they might just offer you formula right away. And that's not something that you want, or if it's not part of your plan, then you'll have the skill already and you can just do it. You don't even have to ask. You'll just do it yourself, ask for the supplies, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so one hand, go straight back. Okay, so massage, again, we'll start from the beginning. And again, it says this on secret number 1, so just kind of follow the steps. But you're gonna massage for like 2 to 3 minutes, both sides, pull it all forward, take your hand like a C, go straight back. Okay, so when you're from the side, you're gonna go straight back and then compress and hold, and then release. Don't move your hand. Compress and hold, and then release. And then you should start getting some colostrum towards the front of your nipples. And then you're gonna take a little medicine cup or a spoon, whatever you feel more comfortable with, and you're just gonna start collecting it into the cup or into the spoon, whatever. And then you're gonna do that back and forth for about a breastfeeding session. So about 10 to 15 minutes. That's all you probably need. Just do this once a day. If you want to do it twice a day and you feel like you want to do it morning and night and try and build up more, that's completely fine. If the first time it's really a struggle and you feel like you're not really getting anything, that's okay. It's still in there. Your body started making breast milk weeks ago. It's in there. It might just be deep and it's really hard to get out the first couple of times. Don't worry about that. Just keep trying and keep trying to do this. If you leak during your pregnancy, then it's going to be so much easier for you. And if you don't leak during your pregnancy, that does not mean that you will not have a good milk supply. Okay? So if you do have large breasts though, that one-handed C technique doesn't always work the best. I found if you take 3 fingers like this, okay, for large breast women, and you go on either side of the areola, again, compress back and then push together and hold. And then that way, that ends up being better for large breasted women, because those breast ducts can go a lot further back. They have to move through a lot of adipose fat tissue, and the double-handed technique works really well. However, you might have to have somebody help you if you're going into a cup or anything. So you go both hands straight back, and then compress and hold, and then kind of move your hands around and see where you get the most colostrum. Same with when you're doing the C hold, just kind of move your hand around and see where you can get the most out. And then again, both sides for like 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so that is hand expression. I have included a link for some of my Amazon favorites. So little medicine cups, some 1cc syringes, some 5cc syringes. You probably wouldn't get more than that. Little labels, just write the date. You don't even have to write the time. Just write the date that you did. Breast milk would be good in the freezer for about 4 to 6 months. So again, by the time you're 36 weeks, you're gonna be using it soon. So just stick them all in the freezer. So put them all in a giant Ziploc bag and then roll it up and kind of keep it deep in the freezer where it's not being opened and closed all the time and getting exposed to warm air. Okay, so that is hand expression. So I hope that really helps. If you have any questions about it, feel free to email me. I'll include my email down on the bottom and everything, so you will have that as well. Okay, all right, so number 2 secret, eating lots of fruit. Now, the one thing about breast milk that's most important for brain development of your baby after birth is the sugar content. Now, we're talking about natural sugars. We're not talking about granola bar sugars or any type of processed food sugars. We're talking about real life-giving food sugars. So my 3 fruits that are the absolute favorite and I feel are the best for your milk supply are 1, watermelon, 2, bananas, and 3, grapes. Really focus on melons if you can. I'm not the biggest fan of melons except watermelon. Watermelon is my absolute favorite. Love watermelon. I could eat it all day. I can juice it. It's my absolute favorite. So if you're not into watermelon and you want to do honeydew melon or cantaloupe, I know I live in Texas, so we have another one called like a sunshine melon, I think it is. Not the best, but in the end, what I'll do is I'll end up juicing it and just drinking it that way. And then I still get some of the natural sugar content, then I don't have to eat it. But any type of melons, they really have high sugar content, natural sugar. So don't worry, don't fear the sugar or anything like that. But high sugar content, also high water content, so super hydrating. And that's what you want for your milk supply as well, is you want to be hydrating before delivery. So I think it's just humans in general now are chronically dehydrated. You might not think about it, but how often are you drinking 8 glasses of water a day, every day of your life? Like rarely, right? So we're all chronically dehydrated. So bringing in more of these melons and fruits are really gonna hydrate your body and your cells and help to boost your milk supply before your baby arrives. So you'll already be set up. So really start drinking like 8 glasses of water and eating lots of fruit, especially melons. Bananas, second, super high natural glucoses, perfect for the brain and development. Phenomenal, great in smoothies and everything like that. So bananas are fantastic. You want to make sure that banana isn't really early and green. I know some people like them like that. However, it can increase constipation, and that's the last thing you want when you're pregnant. So try to get the banana when it's got a couple of brown spots on it. That's perfectly ripe. When it starts to get too many brown spots, it's not ripe enough. I usually take off the skin of those and then chop them up and put them in the freezer, and then I use those for smoothies or ice cream. So those are perfect. And then grapes are another one. They're perfect for naturally cleansing your blood and your cells, and also have really phenomenal, what's the word that I'm thinking of? Like antioxidants, perfect for brain development and everything too. So one of the number one things when babies come out is they don't have placenta nutrition anymore. So they're really depending on your breast milk to be high natural sugar content. Not about the fat. Yes, they still have all of those antibodies, fats, so many different things in breast milk is absolutely amazing. However, we focus on the blood sugars. They want nice, high, stable blood sugars that are going to stabilize and keep them content and not dropping and going up and down. So continue even after delivery of eating all these life-giving fruits. Natural sugars, don't worry about eating too much fruit. Compared to my two boys, Carter and Camden, I really didn't eat that much fruit. I was more high protein, high fat, and my milk supply was good, but it wasn't anything substantial. Like I kept up with them and I always wanted to donate, but that didn't end up working. However, Evie, when she came along, I was already juicing before, eating tons of fruit, and then through pregnancy, and I had the most amazing supply. She was thriving, never had to check her sugars, but I'm sure she was obviously fine. She wasn't showing any symptoms. But probably one of my favorite secrets is really bringing in lots of those melons, lots of those natural fruits before delivery, and then throughout those next couple of months after. Just always have them at the bedside. Fruits are easy because you can keep them like right in a little lunchbox. That's what I would do, is just keep a little lunchbox at the bedside and have some fruits for the middle of the night, and I would just grab a couple of bites and everything because you end up being so hungry. So lots of hydration with fruits, and then also regular water, just hydrating your body before baby is here so you're not chronically dehydrated, so your milk can come in and be abundant and all those great things. So number 3 so number 3 is smoothies and juicing. So in our society right now, we're really focusing on a lot of carbs for breakfast and high protein. But really we want to kind of backtrack and go back to the fruit content and the natural sugars, because breast milk really needs that. Yes, there's still protein in there, but we get so much protein from other things that we eat that we really are missing out on some of those natural sugars. So breakfast smoothies are an easy way to do that. So I usually do like 2 bananas, some pineapple. Don't even worry about throwing in any greens. You can. I would recommend some greens at least once or twice a day. So that's an easy way to do that. But really bringing in smoothies, like a big one. Like I make a giant container of smoothie and I drink it for breakfast, and it's a 32-ounce mason jar. And then I know, and that's like my whole breakfast. I sip it over the morning, stabilizes your blood sugars, and it's really great for your milk supply. Again, start getting in the habit of doing that now, and then that's an easy breakfast that you can carry around wherever you're going to breastfeed or anything like that. Juicing, number 2, if you feel like if you want to get in some other herbal medicinal properties of some vegetables and fruits and things like that, but you don't want to drink a whole giant 32-ounce smoothie, I would highly recommend juicing at least a couple times a week. So there are some really great easy recipes. Don't think that juicing is all these crazy recipes, which I love some of these juicing people, they're phenomenal, but I think they overcomplicate it sometimes with like beets and lemons and celery sticks and all these things, and it really doesn't have to be that complicated. One of my favorite juices to do is literally cucumber and apple mixed with some spinach, and super easy. You never even taste the spinach. It makes it look super green, but you're getting all of that green content without having to eat it. And don't worry about losing out on the fiber, because you're getting fiber from so many other things that you're eating throughout the day. You really want to focus on some of these direct juicing herbal medicinals going straight into your cells, and your body can absorb it easily. It doesn't have to break down. Unlike a smoothie, it has to go into your stomach and break down, and then go into your bloodstream, and then go to all these different cells. When it's a liquid, it literally just absorbs so easily. Your body has to use less energy to break it down and to use whatever contents are in that juice that you just drank. So another easy one of my favorites is watermelon juice. So if you get a bad watermelon, it doesn't taste that great, easy way, chop it up, throw everything in the juicer with 1 lime, and it's like this watermelon lime Kool-Aid, and it's so good. So awesome. I love it. And an easy way, if you don't have a juicer, by the way, juicers have gone down way in price. You can get one for Amazon and coupons for like $75-80. So if you have $75-80, I would highly recommend just getting a simple, the cheapest juicer like they have on Amazon. They're so easy. But if you don't have the money to spend and you do have a cheap blender, you can get a nut milk bag, which I've also added to my link down below for the supplies. You can also get that. But you would take a blender and you would throw everything in there. Don't just take off. Make sure if you do cucumbers, make sure you take off the skin, because super gross, so many chemicals and things from the farms and whatever. So take off the skin with the apples and the cucumbers, unless you get organic and you wash them and scrub them really well. Throw them all in the blender. Blend it all up for like a minute or more so it's really like blended, and then put everything in a nut milk bag and strain it out. A lot of work, but if it's a cheaper way and you can do it, it's totally possible. So that is number 3. I would recommend start incorporating a lot of fruit-based smoothies and juices, simple juice recipes. Just look up, I'm all about the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Like, you don't need any of these complicated smoothies or juice recipes. Literally just sticking with the basics, trying to bring in more greens, trying to bring in more fruits, lots of hydration, really hydrating your body beforehand, and trying to continue that throughout the next several months once your baby is born, and to exclusively breastfeed. So that is going to be the best options for you. So let's recap those 3 secrets and 3 ways to boost and build your milk supply before your baby is here. So number 1 is hand expression. So you can either do the C-hold or the two-handed technique. So either way of those, try it once or twice a day. Start building up that stash of your own breast milk. That is going to be optimal for when your baby is here, okay? And then that can also help bring in your milk sooner too. The average is about 2 to 5 days. If you do end up with a C-section or have to have a C-section for a breech baby or whatnot, it can be a little longer, closer to that maybe 4 or 5 days. So don't worry, your milk will come in regardless, but you want to keep stimulating those breasts, okay? So hand expression beforehand is going to give you that skill. It's also gonna help you get a supply beforehand just in case anything is happening. Okay, so you can start doing that. Number 2 is eating more fruits, lots of melons, lots and lots of melons. Watermelons, bananas, grapes are my absolute 3 favorite fruits. They're super easy to get, usually super cheap, even out of season. So definitely recommend those. Bring in lots into your diet. Don't fear those natural sugars. They are so important and crucial for brain development of your baby when they arrive. They detach from that placenta and they no longer have that nutrition. So they need and depend on your breast milk to be super high in natural sugars and the fats and the proteins and everything else that automatically comes in there, okay? And then 3rd is smoothies and juicing. So start incorporating, start getting rid of more like for breakfast is start slowly cutting out some of the carbs for like bread, croissants, or eggs, or bacon, or anything, and start bringing in more smoothies. Make a big one, you know, or if you have one of those, I have a Ninja blender, love it, and I have those single serving cups. Usually what I'll do is I'll actually throw everything in the night before with the liquid, and then I just stick it right on the blender first thing. So I prepare ahead of time, so then I can just wake up, throw it on the blender, and then just drink it right from the cup. So love the Ninja single cup ones though too. That's super awesome. Okay, and then try to get in some juicing if you can. Super cheap juicers on Amazon. I'll also include the link of the one that I have. I've had it for like, my daughter's gonna be 3, so over 3 years now, and it's still working, and I love it, and it's so simple. So you really don't need to spend tons of money on a juicer. Just do the basics. Oh, one key thing about juicing, make sure it's a masticating juicer. So masticating means that it's going to turn slowly, so it's not heating up the fruit or vegetables or whatever you're juicing, so it doesn't ruin the natural medicinal properties that that fruit or what vegetable holds. So it goes slow and steady, and it doesn't heat up a lot. So you want a masticating juicer. Okay, so I will also link like probably like a low end and a high end if you want a high end juicer, and I'll link both of those in my breastfeeding list below as well. Okay, and so I think that's it. So those are those free 3 secret ways to start boosting and building your milk supply before your baby is here. I am so excited that you're here. As a first-time mom, I wish somebody had told me some of these things so I could have prepared ahead of time. So I'm really excited to start doing this and bringing everything that I need, that I know about breastfeeding to you. And I'm excited that you're here. If you feel like you want some more information about breastfeeding, I have my free 3-day workshop coming up, Breastfeeding Success Workshop, June 21st to the 23rd. So there is a link below, so feel free to join, and I will see you there. And there will be more information on that page if you click, if that's something that you're interested in. So let me know what you think. I'll attach my email below too. Feel free to reach out and let me know. Okay, I hope everybody has a great day. Bye.